Welcome to the Mindset Channel. I'm Ann B. Say, author, speaker, coach, and we are here to help you live with purpose on purpose. Today's discussion is about foundations and mindset, and it's part one of two parts, so I hope you'll tune in next week for part two, where we get some more tools on where the rubber meets the road. But today we're going to lay a foundation about foundations. Now, having a strong foundation in your identity really allows you to build pretty much anything on top of it in your life. And a strong foundation will guarantee that whatever you build on top of it will withstand any storm that comes through your life. Now, how do I know this? Well, Matthew 7 teaches us that when we do the things that Jesus teaches us to do and we follow his ways, we are like the man who builds his house on a rock. And when a house is built on a rock and the storms come and the winds blow and the rain falls, the house still stands because it's got a strong foundation. It's built on the rock. And so when we don't have a strong foundation, we are more vulnerable to those storms. So if we think of like a foundation in a house, and sometimes those foundations get cracks in them, those are those areas of vulnerability. And cracks in our identity foundation come primarily from lies that we believe. With each gust of wind and storm and rain, those cracks in our identity become bigger because that's a weakness in our foundation. So for many of us, the lies become stronger each time those circumstances in those storms hit, because we haven't taken care of the cracks. We haven't maintained a strong foundation. And so what happens is they end up reinforcing the lies that we believe. Now, for me, some of those lies looked like things like unworthy, unappreciated, unprotected, unable to do whatever. So you can fill in your own "un" in there that might help you, link back to the lie that you believe. But I want to illustrate this with a story. When I was growing up in northern New York State, we had a lake house. And our lake house, it was just awesome. It's where we spent every summer, all of our growing up years. And the lake house had a weak foundation. Every year, my dad would have to go down into the basement and inspect the foundation walls, because not only the pressure of holding up the house, but the pressure of the snow during the winter was so heavy that it would cause the walls and parts of the foundation to buckle. And as the foundation buckled, the house would suffer. So there was obvious consequences to the cracks in the foundation. So like the floors would creak, the doors wouldn't close all the way, the walls would kind of shift because they were just wood slat walls, and so they'd have cracks in them. And I used to, being the youngest, I used to just love to peek through and spy on people, but not in a creepy kind of way, just in a little kid adventurous kind of way. But when it was night and say the hallway light was on, you could see the cracks of light through the walls, and you could see the cracks of light through the doors. So my father every spring would have to go and inspect the foundation, and then he would call our handyman guy, who would come and strengthen the supports in the foundations. And in the beginning, he would have to go down and just check the foundation throughout the summer. But as the years went on, he didn't have to check it all the time. He knew that once the foundation was supported and it was stronger, that it would go throughout the summer. And he would only have to check it in the spring when we came back in after the snow melted. And it's a lot like that in our identity. In the beginning, as we're strengthening our foundation and we're looking for cracks and we're checking them and maintaining them, we may have to do it on a daily basis. I mean, if you're like me, you may have to do it on an hourly basis in the beginning, because every time a conflict comes in or every time there's tension or stress, those areas are going to be the weakened areas that are going to leave you vulnerable. And just like in the foundation of our lake house, you could see the effects of that weakened foundation. You can see the effects of a weakened identity in our attitudes and our actions. We might become defensive. We might withdraw. We might, it'll impact our intimate relationships. It'll impact our work relationships. Ultimately, it'll impact decisions that you make. And if they're stressed decisions based on stressful circumstances, it will lead you further away from your destiny and your purpose, and instead of leading you towards it. So the encouragement today and this week is to consider your self-talk. Listen to your uns. Are you feeling unable? Are you thinking things that are like, I'm just not appreciated. I'm just not worthy. I just don't fit in here. Those kinds of things are the triggers to tell you what the cracks are in your foundation. And then next week, we're going to talk about mindset and how we can really strengthen that. So be blessed. I'm Ann Say. We want to help you live with purpose on purpose. Have a great day.